JaytechTV is probably the biggest PlayStation fanboy on the internet to date. Hell, he's more proud of the PlayStation 4 than the person who made it. And that should be saying something. Anyway, today we're going to be looking into a JaytechTV video posted about 3 days ago. It's a video that celebrates the delay of Destiny 2 being released on the PC, so basically it's coming to consoles first and then going to PC. He's making a big deal out of it as if he's won the civil war between the North and the South. It's gotten to the point where he's mocking any PC gamer that actively actually wants to buy this game. Today we're going to go through this video and rip it apart piece by piece. Oh, and before I go any further, I just want to add this. Before editing this video, I went over to JayTech's stream just to watch him play Injustice 2 has also not been announced for PC. On the stream he was playing Injustice 2, presumably to mock the PC gamers again. And apparently the word rags is blocked. It's like a banned word on chat, so if you say rags then you get banned. Thankfully someone else said it first before I was banned. After this, though, I ask, why is the word rags banned? As a, true concern. I wanted to know. I was curious. One thing led to another, and I was already denying that PC gamers are actually begging for games, and they shouldn't be called non-gamers or not real fans if they're begging for a game to be on their platform. It was at this moment that GamerZ had all of his messages deleted and was banned from the chat. Anyway. That was just a little insight into the Gestapo of YouTube in an effort to see who we're really dealing with here. With that said, I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
You can't handle the truth!
Oh, it looks like I can't handle the truth here. Alright. Well, that's where the video ends. Thank you all so much for watching. Just kidding.
Okay, well, we got some good news here today. The PC version of Destiny 2 will be delayed.
Would I be an asshole if I said it's good news you can't play a majority of games anyway?
It's coming out after the console release. That is good news because Activision won't be confused about where their real fans are.
What constitutes a real fan, JayTech? Is it someone who actively enjoys playing a game from a developer or a franchise? Or is it just people that play on consoles? Because the former can be both on consoles and PC, but the latter is very divisive. And it says that PC gamers can't truly appreciate games, which is false.
So they're going to keep track of the console release of Destiny 2 at a different time than the PC release.
Perfect, we can wait another week.
And as you guys know, a lot of developers keep track of day one sales. So they will see how many people on consoles support Destiny 2 compared to PC.
Real talk here, I don't think Destiny 2 is going to make much of an impact on the PC gaming community. Nobody's hyped it up because nobody cares for it. Destiny 1 was a flop, Destiny 2 is going to be no better. That and a bunch of cut content from the first Destiny kind of makes me want to stay away from Destiny 2.
Now, what's kind of disappointing about all of this is if you don't support Destiny 2 this time around, there's probably not going to be a lot of possibilities for them to continuously put Destiny games or release content on your platform if you don't support it.
Well, if you don't support something, then yeah, something's gotta change. Unless, of course, the console community is eating it up like a bunch of fanboys who just wants to show their support for their gaming developers. We on the PC have a lot of standards that have to kind of be passed, okay? Games shouldn't have cut content. Games shouldn't have too much DLC that's pay to win or pay to get more of the game. There shouldn't be paid online, obviously. That's a big no-no. Unless you do it like how Blizzard does it in Warcraft and they actually use that money to improve the game. If you false advertise a game, if you downgrade a game, like I'm talking about you, Ubisoft. There are just a lot of standards that PC gamers have that developers seem to be a little bit lazy in meeting. They want to get some quick cash from the peasants and then work their way up. But again, the gaming industry is turning to shit because of a bunch of these fanboys that just eat up all this content, all this bad business practices because they just want to play their next game. They don't think of the consequences or the bad business practices that come out of this. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, in order for the PC to support game developers, they need to start doing better in their business practices.
As you also know, Destiny 2 will never be available on Steam. It's exclusively available on Battle.net, which is Blizzard's service.
Yeah, we know what Battle.net is. We're PC gamers. We understand what these services are and who runs them. But why is this a problem? Why is this such a big deal that you're making it to be? I have Battle.net, and if I didn't, it would take me 5 seconds to download anyway. What's the big problem with having to download another client to play your games off of? Honestly, it's just like another shelf.
And as you guys know, Activision and Blizzard are partners. So this is great news. They'll be able to keep track of their game for the PC at a separate time than the console release, as well as...
Hold up, before you start spitting some bullshit, let me say something here. I just wanted to say, again, I have no problem with downloading another client in order to play a video game, especially if Activision and Blizzard are partners. Why would Activision put their game on Steam if Activision and Valve aren't partners while Activision and Blizzard are?
They won't have to deal with piracy.
Oh boy.
Hacking.
Hacking like on consoles, where you can just buy a modded controller and fuck around in modded lobbies. Don't pretend like this shit ain't on consoles.
Unnecessary modding.
Unnecessary modding? What do you mean unnecessary modding? You do understand that in order to mod a game, one must have the game, correct? So once the game developer has your money, what's the point? Especially if it's a single-player game. For example, Fallout 4, if I wanted to install mods just to make my Fallout 4 game experience for myself better, what's the problem in downloading a few mods? Are you jealous you can't do that on consoles and therefore we must be able to only be equal and never above? This is ridiculous.
And you will also not be able to get away with that stupid return policy bullshit.
Oh, return policy bullshit? Like on Steam? Okay. I'm not gonna get into used games unless I have to. But wasn't it also you that mocked PC gamers for not being able to trade their games in or to sell their games or whatever? Look at it this way. The return policy on Steam is a deterrent for bad business practices that game developers always do. False advertising, cut content, hype train, failure to live up to expectations, etc., etc. You're able to get your money back for a stupid game that you don't like. We're able to do that too. Why are you trying to mock us for doing that? PC gamers have defense against the dark developers. We can't be lied to. We can't be tricked into buying a game and then suddenly now we just lost our money for it. You're praising developers for not accepting refunds on their games. You're basically approving of this practice that could come into play that you're not going to be able to trade in your games ever, even if you got a shitty game or a broken game. Developers can trick you if they're not deterred by any reason by a refund policy.
And if you violate any of the terms of service and they already have your money, they're going to keep your money and they're going to ban your account for life.
This is how it happens on console too. If you're hacking online or doing some other shady bullshit, your account also gets banned. We're not children. We know how to follow the rules. We know what is against the rules. We know what the terms of service agreement is. We know how to abide by these rules when given a platform to say, hey, go knock yourself out with it. I hate JaytechTV's very condescending tone towards PC gamers. We're not your children. We're not your nephews. We're not little kids. We know how to use a PC. We know how to follow the rules and do all this stuff. Like, no shit you get permanently banned for breaking the terms of service. What are you, fucking dumb?
I think that's awesome because once again, when you pay that money and you look at the terms of service right now, you should read all of that shit. You really should before you go buy it on the PC, because it's only going to be your own fault if you give them money and then you go behind their back and do something that they told you not to do in the terms of service, and then your shit gets banned for life.
Again, this happens on consoles too. You can't use your console without reading the terms of service for your PlayStation 4. You can't play a game without looking inside the game cover and reading the terms of service in that manual. Likewise, on the PC, you can't use Steam without reading the terms of service. You can't play a game on Steam without reading the terms of service. This happens with every DRM available to mankind. What do you think? We're some sort of anarchists that don't like to follow the rules, and thus we play on PC because there's no rules on PC?
So I see a lot of people making that mistake already.
Making the mistake of intentionally breaking the rules? That's not a mistake. That is your fault.
So this guy says that it's not a Blizzard game. Just the gist of this just proves how young he is. Not even the profile picture. The profile picture does too, but
You have to criticize the person for their profile picture and their name in order to gain an advantage in argument over them. That's honestly pretty sad. You really don't know how to argue right, JayTech. What you should have said is that it's not Valve's game either, just like it's not Blizzard's game. The only reason why it's on Blizzard is because Blizzard is partnered with Activision, and Activision put their game up for distribution on Blizzard because of this partnership. Valve and Activision have no partnership between them, so why would they put their game on Steam? You could have just said that, but no, you had to criticize them first.
even the username. But what the fuck? Destiny 2 is not a Blizzard game, and that's why it should be on Steam. That's just the dumbest thing you're ever gonna see from this video. Maybe.
And he just moves on. Look at that. He can't argue. He just looks at something, says it's stupid, and then moves on. JayTech's so arrogant. He thinks that he's right in every single discussion that he doesn't feel the need to elaborate on his claims. I mean, sure, I disagreed with the tweet as well, but at least I argued it. At least I countered it. I acknowledged his claim, but then gave my thoughts on it. I didn't call him a child and then call him stupid and move on.
Listen to this guy. This guy says Destiny 2 on Battle.net and not Steam. God, fuck Activision. Like you're mad at Activision because it's not on Steam. Why?
See, moved on again. You just were like, hey, he's stupid. Why would you even think of that? Why? And then you just moved on. You didn't address his claim. You brought it up for the sole purpose of making him look stupid, and you didn't even argue his claim. This is why, if given the chance, I probably would not debate you. You are a waste of time. You don't know how to argue at all. Not only that, but if someone disagrees with you, you done get blocked.
This guy believes that Destiny is going to fail due to the fact that it's not on Steam, although it's still on the consoles that it released on years ago, including the PS4 and the Xbox One.
I'm having trouble understanding this. You're saying that he thinks that Destiny 2 is going to fail because it's not coming on Steam, and then your counter-argument is that it's on the older consoles and the newer gen consoles, so therefore something. Whatever you said, it had nothing to do with what was at hand.
Which has a higher install rate than they did years ago.
But JayTech, he's talking about on Steam, the fact that it's not on Steam. The fact that you have to use Battle.net in order to buy the game, he's saying that PC gamers aren't going to buy it, which I disagree with. But that's his claim. I don't know where you came up with that counter.
So, you know, I think they're going to be alright. Destiny 2 is going to be alright. It's going to sell very well with the help of the consoles.
But JayTech, his point was it's not going to sell well on the PC because it's not on Steam. That was his claim. Again, I disagree with that. I feel like PC gamers, they don't care. They'll just install Battle.net in order to get it. But you brought up a counterpoint that was so irrelevant, it shouldn't even be considered a counterpoint.
It's up to you guys to prove if it's going to do well on PC by supporting it. But if you don't support it, then it's just not going to do well on PC. That's not going to hurt the overall sales of Destiny 2, especially when they already know they're going to depend on the consoles more than the PC version.
But he didn't say sales as a whole. He just said it's not going to do well on the fuck it.
And this comment is just as stupid as the first two.
Stupider than the one you said was the stupidest of them all?
I'm already pissed off that Destiny 2 ain't a Steam release. Now you're fucking us PC players over more. Shake my head, same date release. Now, this guy is pissed off that it's not on Steam, which means he wasn't going to buy it on Steam anyway.
Wait, what? He was pissed off about it not being on Steam. That means he wasn't going to buy it on Steam anyway? What kind of logic is that? No. He was mad at the fact that it's not on Steam, and therefore he's not going to buy it on Battle.net. He wasn't going to be mad that it was posted on Steam, because if it was posted on Steam, he probably would have bought it.
And now the game got delayed, even though he wasn't going to buy it.
You're twisting his words around, man. Again, he never said he wasn't going to buy it.
And he makes a big deal about it getting delayed. But he wasn't going to buy it because it wasn't on Steam.
He was gonna buy it, and then he realized it's not on Steam, so now he's not going to.
And it's like, why even comment?
Because he has the right to feel emotion over something that's pissing him off. And while I disagree, I feel like it should not be a big deal if it's on Battle.net or if it's on Steam or whatever. He has the right to bitch. Not only did you get the context wrong, but you're also now telling him that he's not allowed to comment because you got the context of his argument wrong.
You're not going to buy it, so why even worry if the game got delayed?
I'm not going to buy Destiny 2, but I can tell you right now it is a shitty business practice to delay games only for the sake of making cheap money over people that don't have the patience to wait. For example, if someone buys Destiny 2 on the next-gen consoles, and then suddenly it comes out for PC and he wants it for his PC, he'll buy it for PC too. Not only did they get the first round purchase, but the devs also got a second round purchase from the same person. It's a terrible business practice. It is not very consumer-friendly at all.
Doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, hopefully it does now.
Now, this is what I was talking about in the beginning. This guy confirms right here that they're not putting Destiny 2 on Steam because they want 100% of the sales instead of 70%. Meaning, when a developer has to put a game on Steam, they're not putting it on there for free. They're not putting it on there for free. And Activision is probably tired of that shit. Now,
if you think Activision is tired of people taking cuts and royalty out of their profits, why do you think they're still making games for console? Because you understand that is exactly what happens for console, correct?
I'm hoping that Battle.net is successful with Destiny 2, meaning they can put the rest of the Activision and Blizzard games exclusively on Battle.net, eliminating their worry for piracy and hacking.
You think games on Battle.net are invulnerable to hacking, are invulnerable to piracy? I'm not saying this to condone this behavior, but you're stupid if you think that. Overwatch is a Blizzard game, and thus is only on Battle.net. And I've heard of a lot of stories of people hacking on Overwatch. Not too many to ruin the game, but enough to tell you that yes, games can be hacked on no matter the platform, no matter the distributor. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is that the game files on PC can be modified. And while Blizzard is really good at catching hackers, so is Steam, and so is Origin, and so is every single distributor on the market. Hell, Valve has been getting a lot of shit recently for their Valve anti-cheat, simply because it is such a very strict program. So just don't say anything like piracy can't happen on Battle.net or hacking can't happen on Battle.net, because it can.
Once again, Destiny 2 is online only, and we all know how PC fans hate games that are online only.
We don't hate games that are online only. What do you mean? Hell, a lot of console peasants think that Steam is online only and that you always have to have an internet connection to play on Steam, and that's just not true. Internet's just part of gaming life. You kinda need it nowadays. And if you don't have internet, then you can't play it on console either, because it goes the same way for console. And if the person watching this video has no internet, then please tell me your secrets.
Here we go. This guy says, actually really happy about Destiny 2 not being on Steam. Blizz Launcher gives them better security, plus no Valve 30% bullshit cut. And once again, we were just talking about this, about better security.
But where are you getting this? Where are you getting that it's more secure to be on Blizzard.net? Because I don't see anything. Hell, VAC is really strict in terms of who it bans and what it bans for. On the side of the 30% cut, 30% is actually relatively low. I've seen many comments from many indie developers on Stack Overflow, Reddit, Quora, hell, the Steam community webpage even, and a lot of them comment on how easy and cheap it is to distribute a game on Steam. For example, Gino Martinez, not a game developer but still has 500 plus games in his library, says, Valve takes a 30% cut, leaving the remaining 70% for the developers. This is widely known and is what makes selling games on Steam, particularly for indie devs, more enticing than going through publishers who usually take 50 to 60%, if I recall correctly. There was an old Forbes article on this, and I took the time to make a pie graph. As you can see, retail is 20% of the game's price tag. Usually games, they sell wholesale at about $48, which gives $12 to the retail store. Then they put an extra 11.5% on top of that as a console owner's fee. Another big part of it is a lot of that money goes to the Microsoft or Sony because of console owner fee. According to the terms of service, you have to pay Microsoft or Sony to play games on, at least on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Mind you, this is an old article, but I think it's still pretty accurate today. For AAA titles, 7% goes into marketing, with an extra 5% going into the development of marketing. And if you're making a hard copy, then you lose even more profits, about 5%. All in all, devs get surprisingly little money for the amount of work they put into a game. And this is just per purchase. But in the broad scheme of things, they actually get paid a lot more on Steam, profit more on Steam, because they don't need a publisher. They can just distribute it on Steam and that's it.
And not giving Valve more of the percentage that they can use to make better games.
Yeah, but understand that Valve, in the broad scheme of things, is relatively cheaper than the other distribution methods.
And give better updates to the server.
Servers? What servers? You mean the ones you have to pay monthly for?
Which they're going to need to do, because Destiny 2 is going to have a lot of people on that shit day one.
But doesn't your monthly subscription pay for that? Oh wait, no it doesn't.
Especially for the console version.
Oh yeah, because that's where the true fans are. Again, I don't understand what you mean by true fans.
So I don't understand. Listen to this one. Destiny 2 not being on Steam will hurt sales. Once again, we've already covered this. They're not really 100% confident that the PC fan base will outweigh the console fan base of Destiny 2.
Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because of the business practices Bungie does on PC.
So how can it hurt the sales if they already know the console version of Destiny 2 is going to outweigh the PC version?
He means hurting the profits of what you get on PC. Why has everything got to be a huge competition to you anyway? You just instantly think he's talking about Sony, or he's talking about the PlayStation, how it's gonna hurt the sales compared to the PlayStation. He's not talking about the PlayStation, he's talking about the PC. He's saying that you would get more money if you put it on Steam than if you partnered up with Blizzard and put it on Battle.net. That is what he's saying. Where in that claim did he ever say anything about the PlayStation? Nowhere. That's where.
The PC version is releasing for the first time. This is a sequel is releasing for the first time. The console version has already an established fan base.
Yet we don't care about the fan base on consoles. What we care about is being able to play that game, or at least having the option to be able to play that game. Because if you ask me, I'm not buying that game. Hell no.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't. You have inherent flaws in your arguing.
Here we go. It's amusing to me to see how many people are whining about Destiny 2 not being on Steam. And you know, once again, we got other PC fans, like, other PC fans are telling you that it's stupid to be whining.
Just like how other console gamers say that it's really stupid of you, JayTech, to be making fun of PC gamers who are quote-unquote beggars or trolls that want to be able to play a game on the consoles. What, you've never heard that argument before? You've never heard a console gamer get mad at you for thinking the way you do about PC gamers that ask for games? It's weird, because I have. You'd think that with such a big channel of followers, you would get at least one console gamer that tells you that what you think is stupid. Oh wait, you wouldn't, because you just censor all that stuff out. You're a Gestapo. You just block anybody that has a different opinion than you. I've heard of a lot of console gamers that disagree with you, that don't like the way that you think. They don't like your toxicity towards PC gamers. So with that in mind, that you have console gamers that disagree with your line of thinking, then why is it so surprising that PC gamers would do the same? After all, we're not sheep. We all have our own opinions.
You're getting the game on the platform you said you wanted it on. Of course there's going to be stipulations. You don't always get everything you want.
I agree that some people just need to compromise a little because you're never going to get exactly what you want in life. But did you really have to assume that just because it comes on the PC there has to be some sort of caveat? Do you actually want PC gamers to not get exactly what they want? I have never ever said in my entire YouTube career or to any other person that I know who plays console, I don't want you to play this game. It is good news that you are not able to play this game. I have always offered my support and my hope that console gamers are able to play every single one of the games that we have on PC. Every single one of them. And hopefully that does happen. But you and console peasants like you just love dividing the community, always starting fights, always waging at war with somebody. It has to be a competition to you. And ironically, that has made you anti-gamer. Nobody should ever listen to anything you have to say.
This guy says, all the PC cheaters are crying Destiny 2 is not on Steam. Blizzard's is ready for your asses.
Here's to hoping he's only talking about the PC cheaters that deserve it instead of insinuating that a majority of PC gamers are hackers.
Once again, I said that in the beginning. They're not going to be able to get away with hacking and modding unnecessarily without being penalized. And if you try to pirate that shit, once again, you already know that's the highest offense you can do, and you're going to get banned for life.
As it should be, but you're acting very condescending. You're acting like my father. Here's the thing, you don't get away with hacking on Steam either. Again, even some innocent people have been banned because they've been doing some shady stuff to their game files in order to give them a little bit of an advantage. But cheating is cheating, and VAC is really strict on that.
And guess what? This will probably be after you already paid that money.
Not if he pirated it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I can hear the Steam people crying, but I want to sell Counter-Strike skins to pay for my copy of Destiny 2. These are some true things. These are some true things right here. And it's just hilarious. You're going to have to pay the full price of Destiny 2 on battle.net.
Just a note, that was the legit end of the video. Again, original link is in the description below. Check it out. I swear to you, I did not cut down the length of this video. He cut himself off there. And yeah, the joy of having games on Steam is that you can sell skins, trading cards, profile backgrounds, emotes, things of that nature to get games on Steam. You don't have to use money, that is if you already have things worth money in your inventory already. But that sucks for them, I suppose, right? They're gonna just have to deal with it. But that's how you should be arguing it, not, ha ha, they're so stupid, they want it on Steam, ha ha, it's so good news that they don't get it on Steam. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying they need to take the stick out of their ass and just deal with it. To end off this video, I wanted to make myself very clear to everyone that's watching this video, I have no respect for JaytechTV. He's the most anti-gamer, console peasant, terrible debater that I've ever seen in my life. His points are useless, and not only that, he blocks off the other opposing side, as you can tell in this atrocity.
Gamer, shut the fuck up. Your mom's a whore.
Nice touch. I want to end this video on a positive note, though. This is going to be my 43rd rebuttal video, and I have 112 subs. To me, that's astounding. I absolutely, it's fascinating to me that so many people want to watch my content, and I'm incredibly humbled by that. As always, leave your criticisms down below, help me better as a channel and as a person, and feel free to join the Discord. The link's on the channel. It says the Z Community Discord on the top. And I've also put my Steam profile up there as well, so if you wanted to contact me on Steam and maybe play a video game, then absolutely feel free to do that as well. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.